That's all they should do over there to people that wouldn't pay. Put the irrigation on them.
This runway that we are.
This within territory of American craft. Between
Well, what they could do is get the Apaches to aim their 30mm
Good
cannons
idea. Good idea. That'll be even better.
Instead of the message on the loudspeaker.
Aircraft played their part too.
And we will
That's the reason for this formation being included in a VE-Day salute. On both sides of the Atlantic, civilian aircraft help to improve the overall aviation fleet. This formation Spartan executives, aircraft get their high impact business use so fast that they prove useful air racing too. It's also worth and the two 7W executives pulling up. The lifting ship turns away at lower level. So in front of us now, we turned into a line of stern formation. We've got the pt14s putting the two Spartan executives. All of these aircraft types were built for the burgeoning business and corporate market that emerged during the 1930s. The Beech Model 17 in the lead. Very elegant and streamlined machine, but it's easy at high planes. It was something of a gamble on the part of the Beech company to conceive this aircraft, given that they did so during the Great Depression, just 3 years after the Wall Street crash. But Beech saw potential. As it turns in front of us, you might be able to make out why it's dubbed the Stagger Wing, a name that was coined when first the aircraft appeared in public. This is because the upper wing was positioned slightly behind the lower one. It's got a retractable undercarriage. The first prototype had fixed landing gear, but to improve streamlining and thus performance, retractable gear was added. Including that for the pilot and luggage space. The cost of the base model initially was $14,000, whereas at the time when it said that the average price of a house in the US was about $6,000, so acquiring one of these machines was not a cheap proposition. Various versions were developed. This is the D17S with a slightly longer fuselage, better stability, 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney Ross Junior engine, giving a top speed of 212 miles per hour. Spartan 7W executive. The Spartan Aircraft Company was founded in Tulsa, Oklahoma by one William Skelly, a former oil baron who wanted to produce a modern executive transport for the well-heeled businessman. The first Model 7 that flew in March 1936 was a 285 horsepower Jacobs engine. It wasn't deemed sufficiently powerful, so it was replaced with the proven Pratt & Whitney Ross Junior. The result was the 7W. Superb performance this day. These aircraft would compete often in transcontinental bandit training races across the US. aircraft having a maximum range of around 1,000 miles and a cruising speed of 200 miles an hour in Poole. Usually today, the American Picard says that would be 760 miles an hour in Poole. There's 34 7W executives were built. Howard Hughes is believed to have owned one, and also the King of Iraq. And they saw limited military use. 16 were impressed into service by the US Army Air Corps and Army Air Force. And the King of Iraq's machine was taken on by the RAF and flown by number 1 photographic reconnaissance unit at Heston until it had an accident in January 1941. Taking centre stage now, the mystery ship. Both of the Spartan executives that we just saw owned by Nigel Picard. First metal example was the 21st of the 34 built, it dates from July 1937. That was impressed into Army Air Corps service in the US in World War II. The other one, the grey example, was the 14th built, and it took part in the 1938 Bandit Trophy race from Burbank, California to Cleveland, Ohio, finishing 6th. And it also appeared in the 1938 John Wayne film called Overland Stage Raiders. It also saw US Army Air Corps service in wartime. But now on to the mystery ship, a no compromisers air racing design from 1929. And quite appropriate we should see it in the air racing context, because rolling underneath the two Extreme Air XA-41s of the Red Bull Matadors, led by Paul Bonhomme, who of course is leading this year's Red Bull Air Race World Championship. Unfortunately, secret by engineers from the travel companies like Howard Warden and Walter Burden. And the confidentiality that surrounded the project led to the mystery ship nickname, which has somehow stuck. This is a replica. The first example was extremely impressive. Conducted its first race in September 1929 as part of the US National Air Races, specifically in the Thompson Cup, the inaugural one of those events. And then there was a free-for-all speed contest, 5 laps, a 10-mile course. Doug Davis was in control, even though watching the circle the second time around a pylon, he cut inside and he won at an average of 195 miles an hour. That was significant because the director accepted to win the race, and yes, directors made air races in those days. Into second place by the mystery ship. 5 were built in all. Some of the others had some very famous pilots. The second one also entered in 1929 National Air Races, powered by a Chevrolet engine called Royal Experimental Class. Later, it was sold to Florence Pancho Barnes, a famous interwar female aviator. She broke Amelia Earhart's women's world airspeed record. That aircraft is still in excellent spare. The third one went to the Chevrolet company. Jimmy Doolittle flew it on many occasions. The fourth was used by Texaco for promotional purposes. It flies for longer distance flights, breaking cross-country records on both sides of the Atlantic. The fifth last one went to the Italian government, with the Italian manufacturer Breda, and the design of this replica beautifully built by Ryan Such of Aero Antiques near Southampton. It's part of the collection of Richard Seeley, who bases it at Weston in Northamptonshire. In come the Red Bull Matadors to start their display. We have the collection Beach, Staggering, and the two Spartan executives were flown by Bob Morgan and Steve Jones. James Greener, pt14s, and you won't see many better examples of civilian aerobatic team flying than this. Speed bleeding off, synchronised tail slides. Malbase, thank you for allowing this crew just reported to air traffic within about 1,800 feet. You can see one shower of everything that is on the runway bay. These two unlimited German design, conceived by Barry's aerobatic pilot himself, Philip Steinbach, and it was initially named the Duxford 300 after him. Now the company's going to make it sooner. Another back Cuban. Basically a place for people trying to do on board. They're going to pull up and perform what they call a formation slide-off. Full of rudder, changing direction and pitching down. This really is a superb display. These two have been flying together for years. The Matadors team started out with a couple of Sukhoi Su-26 and Su-29 aerobatic aircraft in the mid-90s. There they go, pulling up and splitting for the heart. Begins a short solo in front of us. Steve already flown today in the old Flying Machine Company's Mustang. He's had a very flying career. He's been an instructor, he's flown baritone aircraft, air taxi aircraft, he's flown he used to compete in the Red Bull Airways World Series. So both enthusiasts of vintage cars, including vintage racing cars. Really do perfect harmony with one another when they're flying together. It becomes almost instinctive to them. There's another tail slide, this time solo, and this time torque rolling back through the aircraft's smoke. And the steam clears, in comes Corbin on. Corbin leading the team, first of all the Super Duo, then the Matadors, and now the Red Bull Matadors since 1994. He learned to fly back in 1981 and he was soon into the air display world. Circle and Steve flies in to catch up with him. Airsport's first display was in 1986, flying something ultimate pit special for that excellent aerobatic competitor Richard Good. And in 1991 he started flying warbirds here with the fighter collection. Stephen Gray certainly spotted the great talent when he took Paul on to the roster of TFC's pilots. Because I'm sure many of you have been superbly successful in the Red Bull Air Race Championship. He was a winner in 2009 and 10 and was third last year and he's leading this year at the moment. Down to Miracle Nation. in from Muro Loop, very uncomfortable for the one who started inverted with a lot of negative G-viewing experience. The Lycoming AEIO 580 piston engine of 315 horsepower gives the XA41 a maximum speed of 210 knots. But perhaps of more interest in the context of this display is the roll rate, 450 degrees a second. Very often the pilot that's the limitation in terms of the amount of G that can be pulled rather than the airframe itself. Very good job being done by these two extremely experienced aerobatic pilots, putting on this display for us in slightly deteriorating weather conditions in front of us for the inverted brake. Or quickly rejoining for a line of stern barrel roll. So here they go, pulling up in the stern for this barrel roll. Even those high intensity soap lights and the feel like they're perfectly synchronized. Now positioning to give us a top side view of the two XA41s, or uncomfortable negative G involved here. Formation outside turn. The SBAC 300, as it was then known, replaced the former Sukhoi C-26s with the Matadors during the 2011 season, and they made their first appearance with the aircraft having been painted in the colour of their longtime sponsors Red Bull at Duxford in May 2012. And now they should be coming in towards us for a loop. The display axis at 90 degrees on to the runways, we call the big axis, the long the level of coordination in close formation is very impressive. There's the application driver as they fly sideways and use that to change direction onto the B-axis. Coming in now for what will be their final pass. A close formation, low level run showing us the underside of the two aircraft, which the lead will be departing back to base at all the end, the number 2 landing here. So, for the final time today, as they roll ready to come past us, in fact another topside run, Paul Bonhomme and Steve Jones, a red green category. Well, in fact, they've